Okay, so moving into part three, when we talk a little bit more about leveling up, what are the biggest challenges that you think EX leaders are likely to encounter in their career?
Oh, wow. So, I mean, I'm going to call them opportunities, not challenges. So I think being able to educate is the first challenge. We are in an industry that has not been in existence for a very long time. So even if you look at, accredited research, you don't find research on customer experience or employee experience. It's not, there's not a lot of it.
Yeah.
So having to educate, and I think also employee experience is such a mix of different things. We do project management, we do change management, we do, culture, we do this. So having to educate the organization, and especially the leadership of the organization, and having the patience to just keep saying it and keep saying it. That for me is one of the opportunities that an EX leader really has, is how do I just keep educating and sharing as much as I can on what is it that we're doing and what is it, the impact that it has on business. Time is a challenge for us, as I mentioned previously, that we don't see usually our results immediately. It's a long-term process. So time is a bit of a challenge for us. I think the other biggest challenge that I've seen, which is now quantifiable with the ES leaders, is most of the time for us to be able to get the job done, we need tools that are not necessarily in the IT stack currently. The organization also needs tools the organization needs to change into new tools and how we do things. And there is budget constraints in the organization. So some of the things that you would want to see fruit in, so putting digital processes, being able to analyze, employee experience journeys, and doing listening sort of tools and impulse surveys, and all those require a certain level of investment from the business. And we are constrained in terms of the budget as organization. And I mean, that's understandable.
Yeah.
So that's another opportunity then to try and say, okay, how can I do this and still get the results that I want, but maybe not have the tools that I have? So that for me is always something that I always have to constantly think about. The other thing that I recently come across, especially from 2020, Sally, is I've seen that HR, or the people function, in itself needs to learn new skills. We've been doing HR as HR was done, 20, 30 years ago. And the people that we are servicing, the people that we are providing a service to have changed. But how we do HR has not changed. So a lot of sort of design thinking, a lot of, how do we show up better in terms of services? So if you look at customer experience, how the contact centers are changing, but in the human resources side, we're not changing how we do the sort of the administrative work. So that for me is also a challenge because again, you can have tools, but if the people that are then now servicing the human have not changed how we do things, then it becomes quite a challenge for the EX leader.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's what I find very exciting about having conversations like this, and over the last couple of years, is seeing how many people are working in EX that do not come from an HR background, and seeing how I feel that EX is really starting to take a place where it's becoming very much a cross-functional team of people from different skill sets with different mindsets coming in. And, you know, when you combine that expertise with people that come from the HR background, and that, you know, they've done the psychology and all of the things that come with it, you can end up with such a powerhouse team, because there's a blending of skills there. Because to work in EX, you need to have a data skill. You need to have as you say, like the finance and analytics side. You need to be looking at the human element. There is a marketing and internal communications skill that needs, well, in comms skill that has to come in there. That you need a marketing mindset as well, because you're ultimately selling to some degree internally, you know. So there's some really amazing skills that I think are coming into the mix with the, you know, with the EX divisions, that I think is very exciting, because I think it's showing that cross-functional team is happening there, and that ultimately the people that should serve as the people should be a cross-functional team to really understand how all the business units work, right?
Yeah, definitely. And even when you're working and you're developing something to change the business fundamentally, that cross-functional team is essential even in the business. So you will need somebody from IT, you will need somebody from strategy or from compliance, and being able to where it's now not just, you know, HR, and therefore even the HR people in the HR function, they need to understand how business works. And that is a new skill. So you're no longer looking at, you know, does somebody need a medical aid, but you're literally understanding what is the impact of HR into business, and understanding what that business strategy is about. And that's a new skill that we need to bring in. Yeah.
Because, you know, I think, I mean, and obviously we sort of gone into my next question, which are the new skills that people need to master. But you know, I think the side that also interests me so much is what I think the pandemic has done is, I think it's allowed business to recognize that the people strategy is an absolute, you know, it's an absolute non-negotiable. You have to have a people strategy. You can't, a business strategy without a people strategy is going to fall over. And, you know, I think this has really allowed the amazing strategists that sit in this space to really shine, where businesses turn to them now and said, like, now what? You know, and the whole world and the whole way we're expecting things to work no longer does this, and we need our people to carry us through. Now what? And I think that that's really been allowed, because there are some amazing strategical minds that are sitting in the people space that have been you know, really battling to get attention, battling to get budget, but now are being able to really showcase their skills as the strategists that they are. And I think that's very exciting.
Yeah, no, it is. I mean, I was sharing with my team the other day on just the basics of how, you know, employee experience actually works in the business. So from a business mindset, and I said to them, business strategy, you make a decision. That decision has an impact on the individual, how they perceive it and how they experience it, which is why we call it employee experience. How I perceive it and how I experience it and my attitude towards it then impacts the data workforce. Do I resign? Do I leave? Maybe I even get a promotion. That then impacts the business metrics, such as engagement or customer experience, or, you know, how we sell in the business. Because the person, if I have a certain attitude towards a business decision that was made as part of the strategy, will impact how I sell a product, will impact on how I service a customer. And ultimately, that is an impact on the ROI on the business. And that's as simple as that. And having to understand now that employee experience, which is understanding the human, is related to the business strategy. Is fundamentally related. It's not just about my KPIs. It's about who I am as a human being and how I am perceiving the decisions that the business is making.
Yeah, absolutely. It has to be executed by people after all, doesn't it?